So now we're going to build a different kind of deck using a different process. So this was top down. Now we're going to do bottom up. For bottom up, I decide what kind of deck I want to build without looking at the cards. And we're going to build a good stuff deck because that's the easiest kind of deck to build, in my opinion. But it's also one that I haven't done. So we're just going to build a good stuff deck, and we're going to be going for Genesis, Exiles, and Flamed On. Oops. So new. Good. Good stuff. Bottom up. Genesis, Flamed On, Exiles. And you might say, oh, well, why did you pick those factions? And the answer is there's not really necessarily a good reason. So for a good stuff deck, we're just going to scroll through and look for the extremely good cards that we're just going to be running. Because I am building a good stuff aggro mid-range deck. So for a good stuff control deck, you'd be running all kill spells and board wipes. For good stuff aggro control deck, aggro mid-range deck, you're going to be just running the most dominant characters at their cost. Controlled Temporal Anomaly is a very real possibility. That card's just good. I will consider putting it in. Upgrade also, it's a possibility. Flamed On, there's my boy. Flamed On Commando. Best card ever, basically. Paladin, oh yeah, we're in, boys. We're all over the Paladins. And for Exiles, what do we got? Infected Devils, all day. And do we have anything else up in here? Spontaneous Combustion. Oh yeah. All right. So this is basically like the primer for the deck. This is like I've got just a bunch of good stuff here. So now we got to figure out a command zone. So one possibility would be, well, we could run Vanash and just crank out lots of power for guys. But we're going for a true good stuff deck. We're in our command zone. Ooh, you know what? I feel like we're gonna take a gamble. But in our command zone, we're just gonna put extremely dominant characters. And why am I running Hell's Gambler? Now this has been inspired by watching my brother, who was in the last video, Chami. When he plays Rift Run, he takes Hell's Gambler in the command zone a lot. And Hell's Gambler, if you flip the coin on turn 1, if you get tails, he turns into a 2/2, and then you obviously don't play him turn 2. You play something else. But if you flip the coin turn 1 and you get heads, then you got a 2-mana 10/10, and he comes out turn 2. So you basically make the decision that way. Now, as for Flamed On, in the command zone, we could run Noble Protector guys, but we're trying to get as aggressive as possible. I could put in another 2-drop in case we feel like, first of all, get that golden value, guys. Golden value. Or we could just go for something more aggressive. We've got Kali if we want to hit hard on turn 3. Why don't we... So we got tough decisions to make. I kind of want to have a Splitter Robot in the command zone. I think Splitter Robot's super good. Which is why I'm hesitant to put Bromic. Bromic is another very good stuff commander. But I'm hesitant to put Bromic up there because he's another 4-drop. Now, for the previous deck, you may have noticed I didn't care what cost my commanders were at all, because I'm trying to stall. But because this is an aggressive deck, I want to have a threat on the board every turn. So my commanders, their cost is something I have to factor into what I'm going to be playing. Because on turn 4, I'm probably going to pull Splitter Robot from the command zone and he just goes straight onto the battlefield. And I could do Bromic, but then I'd have to pick between them. Whereas if I do a different cost character, then I have the ability to make the choice to every turn just put out something vicious. Vicious Ransacker could be fun. But what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Infected Purifier could be fun, but then we run the risk of not getting a 1-drop. But I think because we're Inflamed On... Come on, boy. Get in there. I think because we're Inflamed On, we're gonna have enough 1-drops. Speaking of which, Flamed On Commando, or Footman, excuse me. So we need more cards. What are we gonna put in? This is almost like a stumble. It's a little better in some cases, which is why I like it. If I could run more support drones, I would run only support drones. All support drone deck. That would be the deck, dude. Siegebreaker is very aggressive, but doesn't have the stats. Torchbearer. It's a clock. We'll put it in. So, you might be noticing, unlike the previous deck I just showcased, this deck has so many 1-drops. And that's because, like I said, it's an aggressive deck, and it's a good stuff deck, which means we're trying to have something good that has a real board presence every single turn. Whereas the other deck doesn't need to have a board presence every single turn. It only needs to survive for a little bit. If we wanted to go full ham, we could do Two-Face, but I don't... Do we want to go full ham? Problem is, if he gets like Death Raid, it's just a slap in the face. Yeah. We'll go full ham. Full ham, guys. That is going to be a big mistake. We're going to see when I'm testing out the decks. That was the critical error. So could do another just aggressive 2-drop. He's golden too, so he speaks to me, you know. Fleeting Footman. That's aggressive. Yeah, we'll do Fleeting Footman. And we'll do Upgrade. 7 more cards. We'll do Controlled Rift. Could put a little more removal in here, I think. Ooh, Flashbang? Flashbang? That's like a win con, basically. We'll put 2 Flashbangs in there. It's not real removal, but it removes things from the battlefield, and if my opponent's dead, I don't care if they have a powerful card out anymore. Scramble if we want to troll, but we don't want to troll. Do we have any factionless cards that I want in here? I think the answer is no, and you say, oh, well, last time you said the Calamity, but this is a totally different kind of deck. We do not have time to get to 11 mana. We are just trying to kill my opponent ASAP. Marry the Demon, it's not bad. Demonize, not bad. We'll put in Demonize. Alright, so we have 2 decks now. And this one, I think, was way more straightforward and easy. It's easy to explain. This deck, we've got powerful characters on every turn up till turn 4, where our curve cuts off. And we've got removal and got a little bit of a buff here. Removal and buffs just to top off the deck. So this deck is basically just straight aggro and good stuff. Like I said, when I was explaining things earlier, if someone took all of my splitter robots out, whatever. The rest of the deck still functions. It still does what I want it to do. Whereas the other deck that I had built, where is it? Oh, dude, I forget what it's called. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. Or it wasn't hiding. I just didn't see it. This deck, we're all in on Kung Ji. So let's give these a try. Let's give them a